Welcome to MCN and the 2024 BMW F900GS. Now in this video, I'm going to tell you why BMW's middleweight adventure bike has really come about.
Put simply, they've turned the little GS into a big enduro bike, and you can see that just from the way it looks. The shrink-fit tail section and the fuel tank are a lot slimmer, and when it's fitted with knobbly tyres, wow. The Metzeler Karoo 4s we're using here on the off-road portion of our test at the Beamer's World launch makes the 900 look muscular and purposeful. It's a far cry from the F850GS it replaces. BMW have also put it on a 14 kilo diet to make it easier to manage off-road. It now weighs 219 kilos thanks to a lighter swing arm, battery, headlight and side stand. The fuel tank is now plastic instead of steel, and it shrinks half a litre to 14.5 litres for extra lightness. It should still have a good range though. BMW claims 60 mpg and 204 miles from full to dry. The steel chassis is new, forks are now fully adjustable, and with 15mm higher bars and 20mm lower pegs, it's more spacious, giving it a true big bike feel. It's more powerful too, thanks to a bigger parallel twin-cylinder engine lifted from the F900XR and R. That means it's grown from 853cc to 895cc. Power is up 10 brake horsepower to 104 brake horsepower, and there's more grunt all the way across the revs. It also has an Akrapovic can as standard, which has the sharp-toothed bark of a motocrosser. And finally, it's better equipped than ever. It cost £11,999, and for that you get heated grips, a manually adjustable screen, handguards, LED lights, a 12-volt charger, a phone and sat-nav holder, two-way length and height adjustable gear lever, 2 riding modes, traction control and corner and ABS. There are lots more accessories available, as you'd imagine, from BMW, including an enduro pack with a fully adjustable shock and chunkier forks, 24mm handlebar risers and a wear-resistant chain, plus a handful of other extras. Rivals include, deep breath, the Ducati Desert X, Honda Africa Twin, Honda Transalp, Husqvarna Norden 901, KTM 890 Adventure, Suzuki V-Strom 800DE, Triumph Tiger 900 Rally Pro and the Yamaha Tenere 700. We'll have to see how the BMW compares with this little lot with group tests as we go through the year. There's also a new F900GS Adventure and F800GS, but they're lightly modified versions of the old 850GS Adventure and F750GS, albeit with a bigger new engine. So back to the F900GS, what do all these changes actually add up to?
Well, before this test, I thought the F900GS might be a replacement for the big GS, the R1250GS or the R1300GS, kind of in the real world. And that's true in a lot of respects. The F900GS feels like a big Beamer. It's got chunky styling. It's got a very similar riding position to the big GS. It's got that nice colour dash. It kind of gives you the full GS experience. And it's cheaper, and it's more manageable, and it's easier to ride off-road. So in a lot of ways, it's a tick, tick, tick. But where the big GS still scores is it's still kind of a big, luxurious Tonka toy shaped touring bike. So if you're going to do big miles 2 up, I'd still go for the big GS because the F900GS is a little bit smaller. If you're going to carry a lot of luggage with a pillion, then the big GS again is a no-brainer. Where the F900GS has really found its niche is the fact BMW have made it into more of a capable off-road bike. So no longer is it the kind of the poor relation or the cheaper relation to the big GS. It's found its niche. It's a decent off-roader. So if you're going to do lots of travelling and you're genuinely going to go off-road, then I'd say the F900 is better than the big one. And it looks fantastic as well, you know, especially with its cut down tail unit, especially when it's got knobbly tyres on, it looks the business. And when bikes look good, they normally are good. It also is a superb road bike. It's easy to ride. There's different modes. The power delivery is really linear. The throttle response is nice and progressive and soft, handles really nicely despite having a 21-inch front wheel on the tarmac. Brakes are superb, loads of ground clearance. It's just tick, 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 tick. The only place really where the F900GS disappoints is really how fun it is and how kind of memorable it is. It does everything dynamically really, really well, but it does leave you feeling a little bit cold. And I think it's down to that parallel twin cylinder engine, which on paper is hard to fault. It's got a nice flat power curve from tick over to red line, but there's no fireworks in between those two areas. So it's just, it feels flat. And sometimes you bump into the rev limiter without even realizing it. So, you know, compared to a V-twin or a boxer twin or a triple or anything like that, the engine is a little bit characterless, and that kind of makes the F900GS feel a little bit forgettable. It's also not the most comfortable bike, so if you're going to do loads and loads of miles, you might find this real thin kind of enduro seat that it has, which makes it so good off-road, will give you a pain in the rear after a couple of hours. So where does the F900GS actually fit into the world? Well, as we said at the beginning, it's really come of age. Not only is it more affordable than a big GS, is it lighter, it still performs beautifully. BMW have channeled it to be a better off-road bike. It looks fantastic and it's much more capable and easier to ride for more people off-road than a big GS would be. On the road, dynamically, it's superb, it's really well equipped, but it might leave you feeling a little bit cold. So that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed it, and stay tuned for the next one coming up very soon.